The University of Virginia Common App Essay. Let's talk about it. UVA's Common App Supplement only includes one essay of up to 300 words in length. Asking about your background, perspective, or experience, the prompt boils down to one word: identity. How will your identity equip you to enrich the UVA community? Straightforward, right? Well, that's true, but with an acceptance rate of under 20%, UVA is one of the most selective public universities in the country. And they have to reserve a certain number of spots for in-state residents. This means that it's absolutely critical to crush this essay to stand out among the thousands of applicants applying to the program. So, let's dive in. Reading the prompt, you'll find that it's pretty flexible in how we approach the topic of identity. We can discuss aspects such as community upbringing, educational background, race, and so on. Note, however, that you don't have to choose one of these particular aspects. If, for instance, your cultural heritage or your relationship with an activity or passion is relevant, you can discuss that. Don't hesitate to be creative here in thinking about which aspects may be interesting. Now, once we introduce an aspect of your identity, we can get into the important stuff: how it will serve you and others during your time at UVA. A great way to do so is to cite any instances of how this aspect of your identity has been a source for you in the past, and leverage that as a springboard to make contributions in a similar capacity at UVA. Let's work through an example. Let's say your source of strength stems from a community you belong to, rooted in cultural heritage. Perhaps your source of strength could come from the community itself and from your contributions to that community. When discussing the cultural community itself, cite instances of how that cultural community has supported you as you've grown up. You could provide texture, introducing aspects like language, music, cuisine, events, and so on that have been a source of strength throughout your life. Maybe it was learning your family's native language that brought you more in tune with your cultural heritage. Or perhaps a related cultural affinity group at school hosted events that you attended that introduced you to like-minded peers committed to serving that community. When discussing your contributions, think about how you've in turn grown serving that community. That can include mentoring other members or hosting events. But as we're talking about a source of strength, it's important that you mention what you've learned from the experience. As always, looking at your list of extracurricular activities can be a great source of inspiration when thinking about what contributions you've made to the world around you. Once you've developed this foundation, this source of strength, you can spend the rest of the essay elaborating on how it will serve you and others at UVA. What are the lessons you've learned from this aspect of your identity? What bearing does that have in your choice to pursue education at UVA in your selected major? What kinds of obstacles has this source of strength helped you overcome in high school? And what role do you expect it to play when confronting similar obstacles at UVA? These are just a few questions you can ask yourself when thinking about how your identity will equip you to thrive at UVA. When thinking about how it will serve others, researching the university is critical. Take a look at the list of student organizations and engagement opportunities on the school website and cite any that appear relevant in the context of the aspect of identity you discussed above. See what kinds of activities they do and talk about how you'd like to make your own contributions to them. Or if you feel that some activities or student organizations are missing, then talk about how you hope to fill that gap using what you discussed above as a blueprint. Ultimately, take advantage of the open-endedness of this prompt and be sure to make the essay unique to you. It should be something that any of your close friends or family would be able to identify, even without your name on it. Unique means memorable, and memorable means a greater impression on the admissions committee. So remember that, and you got this.